Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael Lee Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, demons are never nice in Carta.
Never?
Nope.
Aw.
Nope. Oh, sorry. Hate to break it to you.
What about, what about, like, the ones that are nice to me?
They're just trying to trick you.
Oh.
Sorry. I know.
They offered me candy and stuff.
Well, yeah, don't ever let yourself be lured into a van or any other kind of structure where a stranger is offering you candy, video games, movies, etc.
There was a puppy in the back of the van.
No puppies either. Nothing.
But they said it was a really cute puppy.
Then it's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't go in, though, only because I had to go to work, so I didn't go in. But if I wouldn't have had to work, I would have definitely hung out with them. You know what it makes me think of? So there was this time years ago where I was waiting at a bus stop to go to work, and this random guy pulls up and says, "Hey, man, how you been? You need a ride?" And I was like, "Sure." And I got into the car, and then like halfway to my work, I realized I didn't know the guy. And luckily, yeah.
Wow.
I think about that. I don't know, but I mean, it was fine. I got out of there, but I could not place him for the life of me. And I mean, maybe I did know him, but I just couldn't place him. And I just think about how dangerous that was for me to just get into a stranger's car. I mean, I was like in my 30s at the time, but still, it's like
totally. I mean, like, God, wow.
But I got to work safe.
That's good.
And the guy knew where I worked. He could have killed me, but
yeah, now he knows where you work.
Oh boy. I'm just glad I don't live there anymore. So
I mean, like, you know, it's good. You know, he may have been the demon, perhaps, and so it would be nice, you know, that you got out. You know? Yeah.
So today on the show, folks, speaking of people you might not want to trust, we're covering a really new Netflix Sony Pictures film called K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Yep.
And so this come out in 2025. The short synopsis here on the Internet Movie Database is: a world-renowned K-pop girl group balance their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as demon hunters. This was directed by Chris Appelhans and Maggie Kang. It was written by Danya Jimenez, Hannah McMeacham, and Maggie Kang. The film stars Arden Cho as the voice of Rumi. This is an animated movie too, by the way. So Maya Hong as Mira, Ji Young Yu as Zoe, Ahn Hyo-seop. I might be butchering some of these names. I'm just letting you know, folks. I haven't, learned how to pronounce all of them. As Jin-Yu, Youngjin Kim as Celine, Ken Jeong as Bobby, Lee Byung-hun as Gwi-Ma. Is that how it is? Gwi-Ma?
Well, they sometimes people pronounce it as Gwi-Ma, but then Genius said Queen. I don't know.
So whichever it is, Daniel Dae Kim as Healer Han, Rumi Ok as young Rumi, Joel Kim Booster as variety show host, and many other people that I will not name because I'm done.
No offense to them. They did a great job. Everyone did.
They're all good, except for that one person. You know who I'm talking about. I'm joking.
I know.
So, yes. What are your initial thoughts here on this movie, Sesame?
Love it. 5 stars. No notes. We can just end this episode right now. Not a single flaw. Okay, well, I wouldn't call it a flaw, but some of the backstories are not fleshed out enough to my liking. But again, it can't be a 3-hour long movie, so.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have a sequel. Who knows?
Probably.
I don't know. It kind of ended where you really, it didn't end open-ended, so it's kind of, it kind of had a solid ending though. So
yeah, it did. So yeah. Right. Oh well, it's still really good though.
I mean, maybe they'll be K-pop vampire hunters or something.
Yeah. Wow.
They just move on. They're K-pop deer hunters. And then it's like a combination of the movie The Deer Hunter and this movie.
That movie's so depressing. Bringing me down.
Yeah, completely different kind of vibe, I think. The one thing that Deer Hunter was lacking was musical numbers.
Yes, it needed some K-pop. That really would have livened up the town if there's K-pop.
I was actually taught by, I don't know if she did cinematography or something like that, but one of my teachers for my Video 1 class in college worked on that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She was the worst teacher I ever had.
Okay.
Hope she's not listening, but man, she literally did not know how to control the equipment and stuff. And me and one of my friends in the class, we stayed after one day and learned how to run all the equipment. So we taught her how to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why she was teaching the class. Maybe it's because she worked on The Deer Hunter, so.
Maybe that was like her big credential or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I had her, there was another teacher I had for one class who he went to school with Spike Lee at NYU. Okay. And all he did the whole time, I mean, he was a decent teacher, but the whole time he just kept talking about Spike Lee. It's like, well, when I was in school with Spike Lee, right. He was one, I'm just like, okay, we get it.
You got the name dropper,
Yeah.
Position myself in proximity to someone who's famous so that I can share a little bit of it in his glory or something like that.
It's like you went to college with Spike Lee. We get it. Okay. So did other people.
5,000 other people. Yeah. But yeah, no, I love this movie. I would not have watched it. My niece had me watch it because it's really not my style. I don't really watch anime. Well, it's not really anime, but I watch animated movies that much. And so, she begged me to watch it with her. I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it with you. And then it was instantly, boom, from beat one. I was like, I knew from then, I'm like, I'm going to fucking watch this all summer. I know right off the bat.
Yeah. So the thing is, just to let, anybody listening that has kids, it's rated PG. I mean, I'm hoping whoever's listening to this has already seen the movie. So, but, and can kind of, decide if they want their kids to watch it or not, because PG is kind of one of those gray areas, where it kind of can go one way or the other. My niece let her 5-year-old watch it and then regretted it. So, cause she found some of the violence a little bit too much for a 5-year-old. So,
okay.
It just depends on what your sensibilities are as a parent. I'm just letting people know that. So but I think I liked the movie a lot better than I thought I would. So, cause it looked like I was like, okay, this is some girly, you know what I mean? Girly animated kids film, sort of thing. So but I mean, the music was bopping and, the singing was all good. The acting was all good. I mean, they had different people singing than the voice actors. So it's kind of like an old school Disney movie in that way, so yeah.
Did you watch
including one of the people that sang, she was the singing voice for Celine, Leah Salonga. I don't know. But she was the singing voice for Jasmine in Aladdin. So,
okay. Cool.
Yeah. So we got a Disney connection here. So she was also pretty well known for originating the role of Kim in the musical Miss Saigon, which I saw that on Broadway, not with her in it, but I saw it on Broadway back when I was in high school. It was really good. So yeah.
Did you see towards the end during the credits where they actually showed them actually practicing and singing?
Yeah.
That was kind of the people with doing the audio mixing and stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah. Speaking of the Miss Saigon thing, just reminded me of when I did see it on Broadway. There was an incident where my friend Franklin had the most infectious yet annoying laugh ever, and so we had just watched. There's an episode of Seinfeld where Jerry has a Tweety Bird Pez dispenser. and he pulls it out during this like piano recital of his girlfriend or something, and Elaine just starts laughing like crazy in the middle of it. We had gone to the Warner Brothers store that day, and I got a Tweety Bird Pez dispenser because I used to collect Pez dispensers. And so in the middle of this really emotional scene in Miss Saigon, I pulled out the Pez dispenser and I was sitting next to Franklin, and he burst out laughing in this really sad scene.
Yeah.
And then I just put it away and everybody's looking at him and I'm like just sitting there all innocent.
Wow.
Because I knew it would happen. So in the middle of a Broadway theater in New York, I just had that happen. So yeah.
Oh my God.
I may have told that story before on here. I don't know. But yeah,
I don't think so.
But yeah, so yeah, I really liked this movie though. I thought it was a really good, it's so I think there are two like Netflix animated movies that I've kind of liked, and I think the other one was a Sony Pictures animation movie too. If I'm thinking right, I have to look here. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It came out a few years ago.
What's it about?
It's about this family, and then these like machines take over the world and stuff. And what was that called?
I think I know it too, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if that was. But yeah, that was one of my favorite like animated movies in recent times. But I can't remember the name of the movie.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all Geed.
I'm gonna look it up really quick. I might edit this part, but. Family versus Robots. There we go. It's Mitchell's versus the Machines. That's what the movie was called. I think that was a really I don't know if that was a Sony Pictures film or not. But I put this up there with that kind of, as being like really good animation and good direction and stuff. That was Sony Pictures, yeah. That did Mitchell's versus the Machines. It was 2021. If you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend it. It's a really good animated film. So yeah. But yeah, it's hard to get me with like animated films nowadays. Like I'm more of I know that this whole like, 3D animation sort of style is what everything is nowadays. But I mean, it's hard to like a lot of these movies I think are just kind of like, they feel fake and like the animation style isn't that great sometimes. Yeah. Not that this felt real or anything, or it has to feel real, but what I mean by fake, it just feels kind of like, just like one note, like just no emotion to the characters, like to the character models and stuff,
Yeah, no, I understand.
Whereas this one, the characters each had their own distinct personality and distinct, like animation styles where they, they all coalesced, but it was like the emotion, you could feel it on their faces. So
yeah, exactly. Their own personalities, how they walk and their gait and how they carry themselves, all that stuff. Yeah,
it's really hard to walk when you have a gait on you.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I walk around with a chain link fence. It's really kind of hard, but
especially hard to get into like McDonald's or coffee shops or whatever. It's.
I mean, don't even get me started on trying to fly on a plane. It's just like,
like, sir, could you please empty? I can't empty it. It's part of me. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like,
so, do you want to talk about what goes down in this movie, or just talk about how we feel about the movie?
Well, we could do a little bit of both, probably. Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah. So what's happening here in Demon Town?
Demon Town. So. The basic premise is that throughout history, there was demons that would assault people on Earth to steal their souls in order to sort of like give power to the demon realm. And then there was 3 women who were all musicians, got the idea that singing songs like positive music that would like inspire people was a way to fight back. And then they eventually created something called the honeymoon, which is like a force field that protects them from like the demon realm who lives like literally like below them. And they're like kind of demon town or whatever. And then each generation has 3 women that are like the next group. And so they show them throughout time. Like in the 80s, they show like a pop band, or whatever. And then they're now those 3, Rumi, Zoe, and Mira are like the new trio basically. And the twist, though, You want to see what the twist is, Mike? You want to reveal the big twist?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, go ahead. What is it?
Rumi is part demon.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, she has the demon mark and stuff on her. Yeah.
Demon Hunters. So how is a part demon hunting demons?
Well,
That's going to be a conflict of interest.
she's basically the Blade of this world because Blade's a vampire hunter who's half vampire.
That's pretty much literally what it is. Yeah, I didn't think about that until you mentioned it. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. She's the good demon because she's half demon. What I don't like about the movie, because I said there was no notes, there are a few notes, is that they don't have any really indication of like how this happened. All we know is that her dad was a demon and her mom was a demon hunter, and then that's it. And that their both parents died and she was raised by her aunt. But like that's it. We don't know how they got together, how they hooked up, why they hooked up, why they both died, how they both died.
There's your next movie in this franchise. You can have the prequel to this, where it's all about the love story between a demon and a human, and you know.
And so that was kind of my note of like, well, you know, that seems like a pretty big deal. That's like a big part of her character. That's actually the biggest part of her character, really. And we don't really get any really explanation about it other than the fact that her aunt loves her, but she wants her to cover up her body because of the patterns and that nobody would understand. And so the best option for her is to just kind of hide it from the rest of them until they can.
I mean, there's a lot of symbolism in that too. You know what I mean? Like,
totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of the movie, really. And so they're the next trio. They're called Huntrix with an X, of course. Why would it not be that? You know, it's.
I mean, everything is cool with an X. You know, Elon Musk knows that.
Yeah, no, not really. And no, dude, I am so glad I canceled my X account back in December, and I'm so fucking.
It's a little known fact that they don't get into much in the movie. Before they were called Huntrix, they were called Hunt Twitter, and
yes. They're called Hunt Twitter. Yeah. Hunt. It sounds like a curse word almost. Hunt Twitter. It sounds like a Twitter. You Hunt Twitter. Get the hell out of here. We don't like your kind. We don't serve your kind here. Get out. So they're the new trio. They're like huge. Like they're like the biggest K-pop. They're not just K-pop. They're like the biggest band around the world. They're like. They just finished like their world tour and they're about to take a break, but then Rumi releases their new single early, and so like that makes people even more crazy because they just got over, you know, the tour. It's kind of like a Taylor Swift finished her Eras tour, and then like the very night of the tour ending, she releases a new single that night. Like people would just be going nuts, you know what I mean? Because they've already got the excitement going on.
Yeah, the only difference is that in that situation, Taylor's the only person, you know, performing really. I mean, she's got her backup singers and band and whatnot, but I'm just saying that'd be like this is like where 1/3 of your group just decides, hey, I want to keep going.
You don't see
like pouring out. Yeah.
You don't see the other two singers with Taylor Swift all the time?
Oh, wait. I must have, you know, blindness or something when it comes to that, you know. So is Taylor Swift really 3 people?
No, I always see 3 people singing. There's one on the right, there's one on the left. Am I seeing things, Mike? Is that just me?
What are their names?
I don't know the names. I just see them. They do the exact same motions of Taylor Swift, like the dance moves. One wears a green dress, the other wears like a blue dress.
I think you need glasses.
What's that?
I think you need glasses.
I think I need psychiatric help, but
one or the other.
Maybe both. But anyway, so she releases the single without really asking them, and they were kind of just hoping to have like a nice little vacation, but then they get right back into promotion time. And just as everything is about to happen, they're about to seal the honeymoon for good, because the demon's colors is like pink, like a pinkish kind of purplish kind of color, and there's like little pockets where like that's where like the demon realm was like getting like the most like headway into or whatever. And the gold is the color of like the hunters. And so at one point when they're singing the new single, they can actually see gold kind of like around the stadium, like because their positivity is like so high that it's actually literally making gold like appear in the stadium. Yeah. So what happens is, just as things are about to get, although actually, Rumi here voice starts fucking up, right? And then because the patterns are getting up to her throat now. And the demons have like a really low kind of voice. And so she can't hit the high notes as much anymore. And so they take her to some like quack doctor that Zoe knows. And he just basically gives her grape juice with like a label like on it or something like that.
Yeah.
But what happens? So they're about to reach. They're about to seal the honeymoon, Mike. They're almost ready. Oh, what happens then when they're so close? What happens, Mike?
This new group of guys appears that are a boy band, a K-pop boy band, called the Saja Boys.
Ooh.
And they're basically trying to steal away their fans and then weaken the Hanmoon.
Why?
In exchange for so the main guy in the group came up with this idea. What's his name? Jinyu? Jinyu. He proposes this strategy to Gwi-Ma or Gwi-Ma, whatever it is. And basically what happened is that when he like I guess hundreds of years ago or something, when he first became a demon, it was because he had let his family kind of be taken over by the demons or something, and in exchange he became a demon instead. I don't know exactly. I couldn't really understand that completely, but
it was we learned to. So we hear his version at first, but then he tells the full truth later. So the first version is that his family was really poor, and he was a musician, and so he tried to just like busk, and no one gave him any money, and so then he made a deal with Gwi-Ma, and that basically that like he would let him and his mother and sister live in like the king's palace, but then they like forced them out or whatever, and then like that's when he got sent to the demon realm. But that's actually not really what happened. One of those things they didn't really explain too well, like the whole why
he's trying to get his memories of his family erased.
Right, because he's so
Gwi-Ma. So in exchange for that, he's basically trying to take down the Hunters.
Yeah.
The Huntrix like basically figures out after these boys are performing their song Soda Pop that they're actually demons. So they start, gaining fans and shit.
Yep.
So what happens next?
Such a catchy song too, Soda Pop.
Yeah.
I think about that song pretty much like at least like 20 times a day now. It literally just pops into my mind, if you will, or if you
I was drinking some soda earlier.
And what I love about that, because soda and pop are different terms for the same thing, like different regions of our country, United States. Some regions will say soda more so than pop, and others will say pop. I say soda, even though region-wise we don't really say that. I just like, it sounds better to me. I just like soda. And
I've always said soda because I hate the word pop.
It sounds better to me, and so I always call it soda.
But it was actually called originally Soda Pop at one time.
That's why they called it then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what just like my little soda pop, my little soda. Oh, this is so catchy. I fucking love that song, and I just fucking love it. And so they at first they just think they're like these asshole guys who just kind of like bumped into them, and the one guy, acted like he was gonna like, lift her up, but then he just kind of walked away and said like, watch yourself. And so they kind of like got pissed at them for that. But then once they actually start watching the performance, they could see their patterns for like a second. And so they realize they're demons. But Zoe calls them magicians because she kind of doesn't want them to be demons, but because she likes them, so she's kind of like in denial for a little bit. And then one of my favorite lines is they're like, we gotta go kill them. Mira is kind of like the one with like attitude. She's kind of like the rock star of the group, like the bad sheep of the group or whatever. And she's like, we gotta go kill them. And Ruby's like, no, not here, like it's too public. And Zoe's like, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like they're really trying to hurt anyone. In fact, it seems like they're like nice demons. And then both Mira and Rumi go, demons are never nice at the same time. Oh god, I like that. That was funny.
Yeah.
Then they do this variety show afterwards, which I think was hilarious, where they're doing like who can drink the most hot sauce without quitting or whatever. And so they got like a co-host who's like sitting down, he can't drink it, and then like the Saja boys, one of them, like,
reminds me of I don't know if it's a play on that Hot Ones show that celebrities go on and they try different hot sauces.
That could be it. And so, like, even the Saja boys are just kind of falling one by one because it's too hot. And then the one, they're like, oh, the baby Saja boy, he just goes goo goo gaga. It's lots of that. This movie weird, man. This movie, if you really think about it, like this movie, like if you watch this movie, if you were high, it would like fuck with your mind so much. Like, because like so many random things happen that seemingly they would not normally all be in the same movie, but for some reason they all are. It's like,
I think it messes with your mind even if you're completely sober. So, see, like I don't know. So, my great niece likes to watch horror films and stuff and sneak them when she's not supposed to.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a horror film or this movie, but she had a nightmare the other night that she was telling me all about, and it scared the hell out of me.
Oh.
But so I'm just like, did this movie put this in her head because there was like, killing in it with like swords and stuff? Because she says, I had a dream where there was blood all over the bedroom and my mommy's body was there.
Oh my God.
And then she's saying, there's no blood in this. And so I have like, it's got to be a combination of things, but she was talking about a sword. And, and then there was like, she's like, and then I go downstairs and Meemaw and Peepaw are dead too. I'm just like, oh my God. Because they're staying with my mom and stepdad. And I'm just like, oh my God. What the fuck?
Christ, man. I don't know. The violence isn't really, because like the demons, they like, when they get killed, they just kind of like disappear into like a shadow realm. Like they're not really like.
You think so? I'm just trying to figure out what is bad in this movie that my niece was like upset about. And I don't know, it could be something too. I mean, she was raised in a really religious family though, so it could be something with like that, with the demon aspect. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But what would you expect from a movie called K-Pop Demon Hunters?
I mean, right, yeah, because it's like it probably taps into like deep Korean lore. Like I've been actually quote conversation with ChatGPT today about the movie and just like asking like the meaning of some of the people's names, or like the root meaning, root words of like different names and like the lore behind it. And it's like searching the web obviously for me, and I engage with it. That's the thing. I don't think ChatGPT in of itself makes people stupid. I think that if you're engaging with it and you're actually asking like interesting questions, and then it comes up with something, and then you continue to engage with it, and you get to the point where you're in like a sort of like hybrid type of like role, I think that's okay. I think it's when you just completely rely on it 100% and you don't actually think anything. You know what I mean? Like my character I've been building with ChatGPT for the past like 4 months probably has like 500 pages worth of material, but a lot of it is me like explaining, like giving it so much information to go off of, which then allows it to kind of come up with stuff or suggest ideas or whatever. And I think that because ChatGPT it's not human. All it is doing is just kind of reflecting back a little bit of yourself in the best way it knows how to, basically, right? And so if you're giving it a whole lot of information about what your ideas are, etc., they could spit it back to you in a cool way. But instead of, but if you just go like, what if Voldemort was actually the good guy in Harry Potter? Like, okay, you're not gonna get anything out of that, But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure Gwi-Ma the demon probably has something to do with like Korean lore. If I look into it,
I mean, it's probably like an analog to like Satan or something. You know what I mean? In a way, but in a different way. You know what I mean? It's like their lore about because like almost every lore, every civilization has some kind of idea of like a kind of like a hell type idea, in certain ways.
Oh, absolutely. Even Buddhism. I know like a lot of people think Buddhism is like this super peaceful. Buddhism has several hells, actually. And they're not great.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. So what else goes down in this movie?
So after the baby drinks the hot sauce and goes goo goo gaga, they kind of did this on purpose to lure in Huntrix to go to the variety show, but then the Jinwoo kind of knew that they would come after him, and so they're wearing like this like leather for like their battle gear, and they're like, there's like a slide, like, oh, go slide into the ball pit. They're like, oh, we couldn't, like, no, come on. So it makes like this squeaking sound. Everyone's like holding their ears because of how horrible it sounds.
Yeah.
And they're like, our suits are betraying us, I think Zoe said.
That's funny. Yeah.
And then Gino says like they're announcing that they're going to do like a show together, I think, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then they get into a big fight, a demon fight, after the show, or after the variety show. And Gino almost gets himself fucking killed because he didn't realize that Rumi was like super fast and strong, because he didn't know that she was half demon. And so like I love seeing where he kind of tricks them, he kind of lures them into like the fight scene. And he almost slips on some water, which that's kind of funny too. And then he's like running through the hallway, and he's got like this like smile on his face. And then she just comes darting there, like with her sword, and he's kind of like, "Oh shit," like.
I hate it when that happens. When you meet this girl, you think she's kind of cute and stuff, and you find out she's half
demon. I wouldn't mind personally, as long as she was nice, I don't know. And then. Hey, what's the difference? Like, think about, like, there's mythology where, like, angels will straight up murder people, but they're not considered demons. So, like, just because you're an angel doesn't automatically mean you're good, or at least maybe good by their perspective, but...
It's all about perspective. I mean, it's like, from one perspective, America thought that they were, we're taught that America's the good guys in a lot of things that they really aren't.
True. Very, very true.
A lot of wars and colonialism and different things that,
invasions, protecting capital above all else. You know that Coca-Cola at one point actually paid for mercenaries to flat out murder people who worked in the place to collect the cola or the cocoa, I don't remember which one, because they went on strike. I think it was Argentina. They went on strike because they wanted better working conditions and more pay, more, better, like, maybe not have to work like 15 hours a day. And Coca-Cola straight up paid mercenaries to just go and shoot and murder these people. That's fucking crazy if you think about it. Like,
Coca-Cola is the biggest producer of cocaine in the country.
Yeah, but if you just think about how fucked up it is.
The coca leaves, they take out the part that isn't the cocaine aspect of it, but they have to have this byproduct of it. So they basically produce all this cocaine that they sell to like medical people and stuff like that. But they're the only people, or the corporation in the country that's legally allowed to produce cocaine.
That's wild, man. That is crazy, man. That's very demonic in a sense. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what else.
Basically, we get this. So we get on. Like later on, Jinu and Rumi meet privately. He wants to meet her, and which he sends a message from this like big giant tiger thing, and and a bird with a bunch of eyes and a little hat.
I love
yeah. I mean, text messages work too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he's from the demon realm. They don't have phones and shit like that. So
are you sure? I thought Apple was. I'm joking.
They're more primitive in the demon realm. There's like nothing. All they do is just stand around, it looks like, and just like hang out until Gwi-Ma does like a speech or something. I don't really know exactly like what they do there. It's not very fun. It seems like.
Fair version of waiting for like American Idol to come on TV or something. I mean, something that people used to love. Some big thing that we don't have anything like that anymore, sadly, because things are so bifurcated all over. But yeah, it's like
that's the whole other thing. We don't have like a universal thing. Like I was watching a video a couple nights ago, I think, where it was talking about how like before the algorithms got like so smart the way they are now, like on Facebook, whatever. That like if a post or like a video, whatever, went viral, like everybody saw it. It wasn't like it wasn't to like a particular demographic or
it's like
whatever.
It's like everybody knew about Chocolate Rain or something, like one of those type of memes at one time. But now there are so many different like things. You got TikTok, you got YouTube, you've got Reels on Meta platforms and different things like that, and it's just like, and it is so like, so programmed just to the person that's watching it after a while. Like, it's like, I watch, a couple videos of people, restoring old, video game arcade cabinets, and that's all I get suggested on, on YouTube.
Right. No,
Yeah.
it depends on like how popular a video or concept is. So like, because like we're Americans and stuff, right? So we're kind of built in with this bias that like whatever's popular in America must also be popular across the world, or what's popular in another country, could it be also popular in other countries? It would only be popular in that one country, which is not true. So like, I'll like click on like sometimes I'll just listen to like Quran recitation, just to kind of meditate and stuff like that. If I listen to one of those videos, that's all that comes up in my feed. And so I have to then start purposefully watching other type video just to then get the algorithm to go back to like my baseline, which is usually political videos and a lot of stuff to do with like culture stuff, like video games, the 90s, those kind of video essay type.
I mean, my watching habits are pretty similar. So
it's interesting that like things go viral and stuff. I don't know how we got on this, but
it is too. Like, and plus you have this world where things are so viral to a select group of people that more people are watching this one dude that most of the world has never heard of than people watch Johnny Carson or something. You know what I mean? It's It
reminded me too. I was going to say this and I forgot about. You remember that movie? I think it was called He's All That. And this that was actually one of our best reviews or most watched reviews, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's All.
And, with Addison Rae starring in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like. I had no idea who this woman was. She's like a huge
at the time.
Star.
Yeah.
Billions of people probably get some of her videos probably get billions of views. But like you talk to anyone outside of that sort of TikTok realm, nobody knows who this woman is. And so it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around that concept of like how could someone be so popular and unpopular at the same time? You know what I mean? Like,
because it's a thing like in the 80s, like everybody knew who Tom Cruise was, but but somebody like, Addison Rae, I think is kind of fallen off, but like her as an example, not everybody knows who she is, but she was popular enough to get a starring role in a Netflix movie. It's just like
she's not even an actress, or at least she wasn't until that movie. Yeah. And, but anyway, we forgot. Oh, it's because we were talking about the demon realm and how there's nothing to do.
But basically we've got this idea. So like, so basically, they meet privately and he tells the kind of weird story about how, Gwi-Ma granted him a beautiful voice that helped him and his family emerge from poverty, but then condemned him to the demon realm. Jinu now lives with guilt over his family's subsequent downfall. I'm reading this from Wikipedia. These are not my words.
Which it's a half true story. It's not.
Yeah, it's not the full story. We find out later what the full story is. So basically, we've got these Idol Awards coming up, which is like, I don't know. It kind of feels like almost like the Eurovision sort of thing of this world in a way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, where you perform and there's a. Somebody wins, and I guess they've been winning for like the last 6 years or something. And the Huntr, so they're like really popular. So they're rushing to produce a new song, and they come up with this idea for a song called Takedown, which was going to expose the Saja boys for who they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the get go though, they most of their songs are all about uplifting people and stuff like this. And this song's like it's literally called Takedown. So it's like it's really hateful. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's not their normal thing. Yeah. It's very negative type of song. It's a good song though. I mean, as far as music is concerned, Zoe's like a fucking beast when it comes to rapping. Like,
yeah. So, Rumi's like, dealing with her dual identity of being part demon, part human, part hunter, whatever. So she comes up with this plan that she proposes to Jinu. If he helps Huntrix win the Idol Awards, so then they can strengthen the Han Moon, that she would let him freely stay in the human world.
Yeah.
So but then the Han Moon starts like weakening a lot because of the popularity of the Saja boys. Rumi tries to make Takedown a little bit, nicer.
Right. It's like she's trying to like change. It's like, how do you do that to a song that's like about taking them down? Like you have to go all in or not at all for that type of a song. Like, you know what I mean? Like
it's like LL Cool J didn't write the song "Mama Said Knock You Out" and then we go out for tea. It was
exactly. No, exactly. That's not how that works. And so. Mama said, kind of slap you lightly, and then we'll like get a burger or something like that. Like, no.
Mama said, say bad words to you, and then we go have some, pizza.
Right. Yeah. And so Mira kind of figures out that something's going on with Rumi because she's acting weird and she's kind of being secretive.
She's been hiding this thing her whole life. And I mean, there's definite metaphors here for somebody that's been hiding their sexuality or something their whole life that, their true selves sort of thing. Yeah.
And that she, how being taught that, hiding that's the best, the best way forward. And it's, it's usually a person who has good intention to tell a person to do that, but it's also the wrong thing to teach them, instead of, it's like that whole idea too, where it's like today's generation's gotten soft. When I was a kid, my dad used to beat me with the belt and all this stuff, and I turned out fine. And people are like, you smashed your hand through walls if your favorite football team loses. I'm not sure you turned out as great as you think you did.
And you turned out okay, mainly for the fact that you think it's okay to hit kids.
Right. Which, that's a whole other thing. But
yeah, it's like, oh, my dad killed my mom, but I turned out okay.
It's like,
these kids today don't have their moms killed. What's
right.
that?
They don't have their grandma around because my dad killed my mom. Like, I turned out great, and so did they. No, but it's like that whole thing too of like, I suffered, so the next generation should suffer as well, as opposed to like making each generation have less suffering.
Yeah, it's like just before we got on to record, I was reading this thing about there's this guy who he's been known for a while. He lives in Bedford and he runs a gun shop. I don't know his name completely. I can't remember off the top of my head. In Bedford, Michigan, and he runs this gun shop, and he's a complete racist, transphobe piece of shit.
I know. I pass this all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at his Facebook page and it's all full of, people in blackface and making fun of black people and shit like that. And I saw somebody was pointing out how bad he was, and then somebody says, "Well, he's not everybody knows that he's like that. He's not a bad guy. He just really likes he just really likes white culture."
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, he is a bad guy. It's just like,
no, I know the story. I pass the store because sometimes we get food from a restaurant nearby. It's called Todd's Guns. And last time I was there, though, he's got all these flags. He's got the Confederate flag. He's got all these anti-Biden shit. But then one time he had the pride flag. So is he gay or is he trying to be sarcastic? I'm not really sure exactly.
I don't. He's gay. I don't know, but yeah, it's anyway. Yeah. But I mean, this is totally off topic, and we're just ranting about this guy. But he's also on the school board.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, this world's fucked. Anyway, so back to the movie.
Yeah.
So then we have the Idol Awards come up, and the Saja boys don't appear, and so Huntrix go on stage to perform Golden, and so Genu actually sent these demons that were pretending to be Mira and Zoe. Mm-hmm. To get up on stage, and then they start performing Takedown instead of Golden because they decide that they decided earlier that Golden is what they need to perform because it's a better and nicer song, and it'll help close everything to make the demons go away.
Right, it's such a weird concept. This whole movie's a very odd, strange concept. Yeah. You can think of music will seal the demon realm.
Well, we all know that the demon realm was sealed, by Seals and Croft. So
yeah, it was specifically "The King of Nothing" was the song that really goes, "I'm the king," and it's like everything gets sealed up, and it's like of nothing, and then right after nothing, it goes boom, sealed off dome, demons
and
gone.
That's why his name was Seals. It's just how it worked. But or maybe it was Seal who sealed it off with "Kiss from a Rose."
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yep.
Yeah. So they start saying all this stuff about how Rumi is a demon and stuff like that, and they just like this whole thing about lying about her past and shit like that on stage during the song, and start ripping off her clothes and showing the patterns on her skin and shit. And so things go kind of awry there.
Yep. Yay.
Then what happens?
So she has a full-on breakdown on stage, and then she runs off, and then she finds the real Zoe and Mira, but then they see her patterns, and they kind of freak out a little bit because they've been trained to kill them. But it seemed like Mira was more upset that she hid it from her more so than the fact that she was half demon. Like,
well, I think they basically, that's the main thing. It's not like, I don't think they were mad about her being who she is. It's more that she hid it from them.
Right, because her aunt told her to multiple times, because she even said, like, maybe they'll understand. She goes, no, they won't. You just gotta hide it until we can fix this, basically, because that was the thing. She had this mantra that she taught them, which is like, we must never let our doubts and fears be exposed, or something like that. I don't know exactly what it was. And so it's that kind of like pretend to be perfect and then you will be perfect kind of thing. Objectively not. A very toxic way of, it's like one of these, they call it toxic positivity kind of things, where it's like you just like constantly like, it's like you'll see it in books and stuff where they'd be like, feeling bad is bad, you have to constantly feel happy, and it's like that's not a natural state of being though. Like sad is a part of life. Like it just is. Like you like, and when you're sad, it doesn't mean that like something wrong is happening. It's just it's like your brain is regulating itself by different emotions. Your brain quite literally has to feel all of the emotions in order for it to find balance. If you're forcing, you think of one, like
when I was in high school, I wrote a haiku that was like, only those who have felt the pain in the world can truly cherish life.
Yeah. If every day was sunlight, if every day was a perfect 72 degrees, if every day was a nice breeze, then eventually you would just not appreciate it as much because you're just used to it.
And it's like in Vanilla Sky, Jason Lee's character talks about how you've got to take the sour with the sweet.
Yeah. No, totally.
Or you never appreciate the sweet without the sour. Yeah.
It's just, it's like her aunt, and again, like with a lot of people, the bad advice usually comes, not usually, but oftentimes the bad advice comes with someone with good intentions because they think that's the most appropriate way of dealing with, the problem or whatever, or the supposed problem in this case, because there really is no problem in the case of Rumi, because she doesn't act like a demon. She doesn't really have any characteristics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the patterns literally is the only thing that makes her look anything like a typical demon in this. Yeah. In this so they kind of lift up their swords to her because she's kind of like walked towards them, but then they seem really sad. And then she goes to visit her aunt and basically tells her aunt to kill her. Aunt's like, no, we just.
Was this before or after she like confronted Jinu about tricking her and he admitted to lying about his past?
Oh, so she visits her aunt after Jinu tells her the full story of what happened, I think. Yeah.
What really happened?
So what really happened was Jinu, he and his family, specifically his mother and sister. He doesn't mention his father, so maybe his father died or just wasn't in the picture. And he was a musician. He did try to make money for his family doing his skill, but he couldn't do it. And that's when Gwi-Ma got into his head. And basically the deal was that he would abandon his mother and sister so that he could live in the palace, and his words, have a full belly every night, and then lock his mother and sister outside, from palace gates. And that's why he wants his memories erased, because he just feels constant shame. You gotta think, 400 years. This is how old he is. And so he's been living with the shame for 400 straight years, which is why he wants.
He looks good for his age. He looks good for his age. I mean, I don't know what kind of moisturizer he's using or anything, but
I know. It was really good for his age. And so, with ChatGPT, I was quote having a conversation with it earlier about this, actually, of like, why does Jinwoo still have like human characteristics, whereas all the other demons like look completely like grotesque and hideous? And it was like, act like, well, maybe because Jinwoo was once human, maybe not all maybe some demons are just like demons from the get-go, like maybe there's like a hierarchy. So like maybe Gwi-Ma was like just a straight up demon from the start, like born out of chaos energy or whatever type of thing. But then some of the demons were like former humans who had like sold their soul, and I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. So maybe like not all the demons are actually once human. Like some of them are just always have been demons, and because there is something interesting about this is why I wish the movie could have done more backstories, but then it would have been a lot longer. So I understand it's meant for little kids mainly, so it's like you can't really have like a 3 hour for kids, because like it seems like Gwi-Ma and Jinwoo have like this weird kind of relationship with each other, where like it almost seems like Gwi-Ma kind of fears Jinwoo a little bit because of potential, and so he kind of gives him a lot more sway than he does to the other demons. He'll just straight up kill if they like him. And I think it's because he knows that Jinwoo is smart, he's charismatic, he's musician, he's skilled at what he does. Because at one point he plays this song to give Gwi-Ma the permission to form this demonic boy band to compete against Huntr, and he does this song where he's basically just like roasting Gwi-Ma, like insulting him. And then he says something like, "I allowed you to keep that voice. You use it to mock me." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not trying to mock you. I'm just, yeah, you were. What are you talking about? You just wrote like a roast song against stuff." Like,
it's a real roast because it's like in this fire.
It's a real roast because they're literally in a demonic realm. Exactly. Good point. But so I wonder though, why did Gwi-Ma give him so much leeway? Because again, like a lot of the demons have their like you think like okay, you sold me your soul, you got
maybe
what you want. Now I'm bringing you back.
Sees it was like his natural successor or something. Who knows? Yeah.
Like a mingle of fear and like begrudging respect that he might have to Jinwoo, which is why he gives him a lot more freedom than any. I mean, again, like he lets him keep his voice, that big strength. You would think, if you don't want competition, you would take away whatever strength your competition or maybe your potential competition might have. Anyway, that's a whole other. But like, I wish that. I mean, I understand why, but it would have been cool to kind of see the relationship, because at one point, he kind of explains like what the plan is, and then he says, "I have taught you well, Jinwoo." So it kind of implies that like he's maybe has been grooming, not the new way people use the word grooming, but like the old way, to like be maybe not a successor, because I don't think Gwi-Ma would ever want to give up power, but like maybe like a underling, maybe, or like a right hand man type person, and like they couldn't get into all this deep lore because it would just take. The movie would be so much longer than it really is. And it was already decent. It was about an hour and 20 minutes. Pretty decent length for like a quote unquote kids movie.
Then we have this issue here going on with Rumi and Celine.
Yeah.
And she asks Celine to end her life because she's half demon. Celine refuses to, but Rumi lashes out at Celine for never fully loving her because of who she is. Yeah, because she makes her cover up and stuff. So yeah,
it was really like a lot of metaphors. It was really interesting too of how this conversation took place too, because it literally began with asking Celine to straight up kill her, and then into like, "You never accept me for who I am." It's like, you just literally offered her to murder you. It's like,
See,
it's great to like, you never left me. It's like, wait, what?
This is some of the stuff in the film where I think it might be a little bit too much for young kids.
I don't think it was only meant for kids, though. That's the thing. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the movie is meant for kids. I'm just saying that I could see why, like, my niece didn't think it was good for her 5-year-old to watch. You know?
See, okay, yeah, because it's like, it's not only meant for kids. A lot of people are going.
That's why people need to realize that. I mean, it's PG and it's not G. Like where something, Aladdin is G, or Frozen is G. Where this is PG, which means you got to have parental guidance with it, because you're talking about suicide here. You're talking about killing demons, yes, but killing people and stuff like that. That's not your typical, kids movie. And the thing is, people don't realize that animation isn't always just for kids.
Exactly. But that was a kind of like sad conversation. Then plus her face is all like she's got like this glowing pink on her face, or one of her eyes is like colored yellow now.
Yeah.
Like she looks kind of like literally like she looking like a half demon at this point. And then her voice has gotten more demonic when she kind of yells at her. And then she says something like, if this is what the Moon is meant to protect, and I'm glad to see it burn down. And so Celine thinks that means she's like gonna go on full demon, but she really is doing it to trick Gwi-Ma by kind of because so there's this whole thing during this whole thing. Gwi-Ma is like how he gets into people's heads is that he has the person listen to their own voices, but the messages are coming from him, and the Saja boys are about to they're performing a song called "I'll Be Your Idol," which that's another metaphor probably. And at this point though, they're dressed.
I don't even think that's a metaphor. I think it's just flat out there.
But in this case, they're dressed like in their actual demon or whatever. So they're not even like putting on the soda pop type of boy band is.
Mask is off, really.
Yeah.
So,
they're like flying, they're floating in the air and shit, and like nobody seems to notice because they're all like in this trance, and they're all just walking towards the demon realm essentially, and so that they can all just join so Gwi-Ma could quote feast on their souls because he needs more food, to gain more power, or just contain whatever he has, and like even the rest of the Huntrix are. Got into their heads, and they're, like Mira is something like, you'll never have a real family, because she was like, quote unquote, the black sheep of her family, which again, they never explained why. Zoe's a people pleaser, and so her voice is like, what was it? You're too much and never enough at the same time, or something like that. Yeah. And so everyone is like hearing like their worst like fears and thoughts as they're walking into this trance, and then they perform the idol song, and then Rumi shows up, and she's acting like she's in the trance, and then she kind of reveals that she's not, and then she sings, what was it called? She sings the song that she had like written, I guess, by herself, that no one ever knew, or that she didn't even know.
It's like a new song. It's about like shame and fear and stuff like that, and it's
it's a powerful song. Then they basically use that song to slay Gwi-Ma. At one point, he kind of goes full power mode to try to kill Rumi. But then what happens then after that, because she looks like she's about to lose her strength and be consumed by Gwi-Ma, what happens, Mike? What happens?
Genu sacrifices himself to save her.
At all. And then
yeah. And then what it's saying here in Wikipedia, which I'm reading, says he sacrifices himself to save Rumi from Gwi-Ma and transfers his restored soul to her. And then the empowered Huntrix defeat Gwi-Ma and the Saja boys, which ultimately seals the demons and creates a new Hanmoon. And then so now everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy again. What I love about it though is I'll have to look at it again, but I think does Rumi still, she keeps the patterns, right? Or are they off of her? Or does she still have the patterns after?
She says afterwards, Rumi is no longer ashamed of her marks, relaxes with Mira and Zoe. Huntrix later reappear in public to meet with their fans. So I think she keeps the marks on her and stuff. Yeah.
Because if it was the other way around, it would just ruin the whole point of the movie. But like, I was just worried for a second if they just like ruined the whole.
She accepts who she is.
Right.
So yeah, in a way. So yeah, I mean, it's a good message.
What I like about the term patterns too, because like it could almost mean like, like someone has like psychological patterns. They repeat the same toxic behavior or whatever that keeps them down in life. You know what I mean? Patterns or patterns of thoughts or patterns of actions that don't suit someone, and so I thought that was an interesting word that they chose, probably intentionally in my opinion. But yeah, she splits Gwi-Ma in half with her sword, just straight up just like just cuts through in half, and then he dies. As far as I would hope that they won't do a sequel. I mean, I know it's super popular, and of course, everyone does a sequel because it makes them more money. But like, what would you need to tell other than like, oh no, part of who actually stayed alive and now he's getting power again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean,
this whole thing was, Maggie Kang and was kind of one of the major forces behind this, and the directors and stuff. I would like to see more from her, more than anything, like maybe another story, but it's kind of interesting because this is like kind of the first like American animated film that focuses on Korean culture, so yeah.
That's what about it too. It's a K-pop demon. It's not pop, it's K-pop, specific form of pop music. And if you don't know the difference, I don't really listen to a lot of pop music myself, but you could tell just by listening to it. There's little things that are Korean, like maybe a certain melody that you don't often hear, like American pop music, or like maybe a certain inflection of like a tone of someone's voice, or like a certain harmony, or like kind of like sometimes how you listen to Indian music, and like Indian singers they've trained how to sing in between notes, and so like instead of like just going from like one note to the next, they'll be able to like sing a halfway note in between those two notes. And a lot of people in Western countries, they don't train themselves to sing that way. And so if you heard like an Indian pop song, you would be able to tell by hearing like, oh, well, that note seemed kind of weird. I don't really recognize that note in most of my pop songs, So like K-pop does have like its own, it's not just the fact for Korean, basically is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not like, oh, it's pop music and just happens to be performed by Korean people. That's not what
I was looking up too about the other director, Chris Appelhans. He made his directorial debut with a movie that's kind of based on Chinese culture called Wish Dragon, which is an animated movie. So prior to that, he had worked on other films like Monster House, City of Ember, Coraline, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Princess and the Frog, Puss in Boots, Rise of the Guardians, the Angry Birds movie, and Wonder Park. So
cool.
But yeah, Wish Dragon might be a good movie too. I don't know. So,
So they finally get, because there's like a running joke in the movie where they're always trying to get Rumi to go to the bathhouse with them, but she can't because of the patterns. But now she finally does go with them, and they're all like, like we've been saying this for years and stuff like that. Then they all like end up crying because they're so grateful for each other's friendships and stuff like that. And they go outside and they're about to do their vacation, but then they see some young fans out there, so they decide to approach the fans themselves instead of having the fans approach them, to say hi to them and stuff like that. We're kind of positive because you don't normally see that. Someone usually, hey, can I get your autograph? You don't usually see someone coming to you. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. Like, anyway, great movie, very positive.
Not to diminish, because I just went off over Chris's filmography. These are like things that she worked as like a story artist and stuff like that. Maggie Kang, the other director and writer of this, worked on Minions, The Rise of Gru, The Croods, A New Age, The Grinch, the Lego Ninjago movie, Trolls, Kung Fu Panda 3, Puss in Boots, Rise of the Guardians, Shrek Forever After, Madagascar, Escape to Africa, Shrek the Halls, Shrek the Third, Over the Hedge. So she's got a decent background in mainly doing like storyboard artists and stuff like that in those. So yeah.
It wasn't part of Troll 2, I hope, though, right?
No, not Troll 2. No, definitely not. But Trolls.
Good. Yeah. I was hoping not Troll 2. We reviewed that movie once, but this movie, I just love it. I just think it's a great movie. I haven't watched the movie in a while that I just really, really love. Like, this has been the first one in quite a while. Superman, though, is really great too. The new Superman. It's also I'll probably end up watching times too.
We recently joined Ryan over at New Realms Media. Check out his YouTube channel. And There's in his Superman review, we joined him for that. So I'll put a link in the show notes when that comes out. Folks, go to all2real2.com and check out all of our links there to our social media, and go on App Podcast or Spotify or wherever you can to give us a review, rate the show 5 stars all around, so we can become the new pop idols. And then we'll do a musical episode where we just sing the whole time. Not really, because you don't want to hear me sing.
That's awesome.
Also, just share the show with your friends. Check out some of the charities that we have in our show notes. I haven't mentioned this in a bit. Donate to help people. There's a lot of shit going on in this world, and any way you can help make it a little bit less shitty would be good. Know that trans lives are human lives.
True.
No human is illegal.
True.
Free Palestine.
True.
Be different. Be yourself.
True.
Be good to each other.
True.
Just remember that I love you, even if you're a demon. Sesame loves you. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.